It's become virtually impossible to get the attention of the people you want to reach in our current economy. Have you tried to ask potential clients out to lunch lately? A new free report tells you how to get a potential client's attention. No matter how big the business or the size of your firm, you'll be shocked how easy it is to reach major entrepreneurs, C-level leaders of Fortune 500 firms, and more. Call 713-370-6450 for your free report. That's 713-370-6450. Again, 713-370-6450. Or email info@usabusinessradio.com. This complimentary report will unlock the secret of reaching business people in this economy. Email info@usabusinessradio.com.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Barnes, talking to you about you and your business. As you know, I've been talking a lot about the whole publishing industry and the changes that are going on in that industry. And delighted going to spend some time with one of the pioneers in the print-on-demand self-publishing domain space, which is Lulu, LULU.com. And got Dan Dillon with me, and he's the VP of Marketing for that company. Dan, welcome to the program.
Well, good morning, Kevin. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Tell us, kind of give us the elevator speech, including where Lulu got its name.
Oh, absolutely. So Lulu, just in a nutshell, is a remarkable person, object, or idea. And Lulu.com is full of Lulus, honest to goodness. We have actually printed more than 20 million books for readers around the world since 2002. And just as you said in your introduction, we really were the pioneer in the world of self-publishing. You know, prior to Lulu, the notion of bringing a book to market by yourself was fairly was sort of looked at with a little bit of a bit of skepticism, only because you had to print hundreds or thousands of copies. There was a lot of upfront cost. And a lot of times those books just ended up in the attic or in the basement or in your trunk, or it was just inventory that you could not move, and it was a losing proposition.
And actually depressing
we turned that entire model on its head.
Kind of depressing to turn and look at that bookshelf full of books that never went anywhere.
Yeah, no fun. No one wants to have their store full of inventory that's not moving. That's right.
Yeah. So, and now I get the name Lulu, and that's kind of, it may show a little bit the age of the founder, right? Because that is a earlier generation expression of, wow, that's a Lulu. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Our founder actually has a little bit of a great history around naming companies. Prior to Lulu, he was a co-founder at a company called Red Hat, which is something of a counterintuitive name for a company, perhaps, but certainly not counterintuitive in terms of its success. So the more unique the name, the more successful you are.
Well, I think there may be some truth to that. So how many titles do you all publish now annually?
Oh, gosh. We don't even look at it annually. We have such a tremendous throughput every week and every month. And round numbers, I'd say on a monthly basis, we're publishing anywhere from 15 to 20,000 titles every month.
Wow.
So if you compare that, just as a matter of comparison, if you look at, a traditional publisher, whether it's, a Simon & Schuster or what have you, they're certainly putting out a number of books as well each year, but nothing on the order of tens of thousands. It's great. It's a very vibrant marketplace.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're doing 10,000 annually, even the biggest one. Now, maybe the entire parent company that has 15, subtitle companies underneath them, but you know what I mean. I would be surprised if any one of them are doing that kind of volume. That's just unbelievable.
Well, it's an alternative. I'll tell you what. It's a real viable path to market. Think about this for a minute, if you would. So people today are profiting from all types of private property, right? People can profit from their cars, which were just sitting idle in their driveway previously. They can profit from their spare bedrooms, which were just empty spare bedrooms in the past. And now people are profiting from their knowledge. And Lulu is the place where people come to profit from their knowledge in the form of published material.
Yeah, no question about it. And I guess I wouldn't be surprised if everything ranges from books for a family to gift to the family about their family, to serious nonfiction, biography, and of course, I'm sure a lot of fiction as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. It runs the gamut. Everyone, as you mentioned, everyone from people who want to simply publish a story for the sake of posterity or for the sake of a family heirloom, all the way up to very serious business owners who are simply looking for an additional monetization opportunity of their business or of an audience or customer segment they serve. As an example, we actually have a husband and wife team out on the West Coast. They are fitness experts, and they go by the name of Fitness Blender, and they have a tremendous following on their website and tremendous following on YouTube. In fact, they were in the top 20 of all fitness websites in the world this past year. So tremendous couple of experts in the world of health and wellness. And they publish through Lulu.com. They publish workout manuals. They publish nutrition guides. And what they're doing, of course, all their videos are free. So they can't monetize their audience by virtue of allowing them to watch their content, but they're monetizing their audience by virtue of publishing books. And these, let me tell you, these books are consumed in extremely high volume.
Yeah, and they do most of their marketing for those books via their videos.
Well, that's exactly right. So it's a 1-2 punch, right? You've got really compelling content that's free, and we all know that information wants to be free, although the creators certainly can't always make it free, and that's the virtue of the market. But by the same token, if you can attract people with a really great value proposition with a very low barrier, once you've got that customer, there are additional ways to bring value to them, and certainly Lulu's the way that, in this case, our Fitness Blender customers are doing that.
Yeah, and for them, they had zero incentive really to work with a New York publisher because all they would be doing is giving those huge amounts of money that they're getting from themselves with the cushion they get with Lulu to them because they're doing all their own marketing.
Well, that's really an interesting point you bring up because there are, back in the day, I think a lot of people's wealth was measured on what they could produce, and then we turned the corner into the mid-20th century, and people's wealth was measured based on what they could consume. And both of those things are actually right. Neither one is wrong. Where we are now is that people are able to measure their wealth based on what they can both produce and consume. So we've reached this tipping point of what can I make, and then what also can I actually take? And that's where Lulu sort of is at the nexus of this culture and this market. So we enable people to publish a book, bring it to market, and sell as many copies as they possibly can with no middleman. So it's really interesting to see a number of customers going directly to their consumers without anyone sort of in the, any robber barons, if you will, midstream saying, well, I want a piece of that, and I'm going to dilute your value this way, and I'm going to promise you this, and, often with specious results. So I think it's interesting to know that there's a tremendous demand for creators, or I should say among creators, to bring their books directly to their readers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what is the state of publishing today?
The state of publishing today, it's completely upended. It's absolutely, now I will say this, it's a very mature and in some ways a very durable market. There will always be, you look at newspapers, right? It's not a demand problem in the case of newspapers. It's a distribution problem. There's always demand for information and accurate and timely information. And it's the same thing with Lulu, right? So we have upended that entire model where we're bringing, in a very rapid way, information in the form of fiction or entertainment in the form of fiction and information in the form of nonfiction to people who want to readily consume that information. So I think the long, drawn-out process of having to painstakingly have, n number of people look at a piece of content, scrutinize a piece of content, color it purple, color it pink, color it blue, and guess what's going to be right. Instead, what we're doing is we're empowering the originator of that comment, the owner of that knowledge, that expertise, or that story, to make those decisions him or herself, learn and optimize as they go, and then their next book is even better than their first.
So one last question. Obviously, you guys were the guys to beat, and a few not too long ago, you were about the only player, and now isn't, there's hundreds of POD self-publishing companies out there. So how do you continue to differentiate yourself?
Let me point out that's the sign of a very healthy market. So we're glad that there's all kinds of second comers to the space. So absolutely a great sign there. What we're doing is we offer a very specific value proposition, and that is really high royalties to our authors. So you'll see any number of providers offering this percent or that percent. We actually give 80% of all royalties back to the creator in the case of a print book, and we give 90% of all royalties back to the creator in the case of an ebook. And there are no additional charges. There's nothing up front. You can bring a book to market today for $0. So there's no, you got to buy 10 books to get started. You got to buy a package to get started. None of that is true at Lulu. So we really differentiate by removing the barrier to create and distribute by making it free.
Well, you got to love that. And right? I love the Lulu story, and I look forward to hearing it continue in years to come. And I'd love to have more conversations with you in the future about publishing.
Well, thanks so much, Kevin. I've enjoyed myself, and I've certainly enjoyed speaking with you this morning.
You bet. Real quickly, the website for the listener, go ahead and give that.
Yes, indeed. Lulu.com, Lulu.com. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, there's also a great cartoon character called Little Lulu, if I recall. Great name. I like that name.
Very good.
Lulu. Make sure you check him out, Lulu.com. Dan Dillon, he's been our guest, VP of Marketing, and I look forward to talking to him again in the future. I'm Kevin Price. We're going to have more for you right after this on The Price of Business.